Hello and welcome to the Salt Collector channel, where we collect buckets of salt from the tears of our enemies. Today we'll be talking a little bit about a tournament I participated in here in Holland, in the south in Eindhoven. A little something called Dutch Nationals, where instead of collecting salt, we collected dragon teeth, bones, wings, whatever, any part of dragons. Yes, so I went down as Boltyn, the Boltynator. Not sure I was going to play Boltyn, and I came back with this bad boy. I don't know if you can see that there. And a very fortunate gold foil pull over here. Yeah, very happy with the outcome, obviously. More so because I was able to do it with Boltyn, and even more so because a very good bunch of players, and I will be the first to say that luck was on my side for much of the tournament. I don't want to downplay myself too much either, because I had to win 12 games. 3 of which were against the top players in Holland, and some of the best Dromai operators around Europe, maybe even further. Ian has a reputation for being a very good Dromai player. So yeah, that's what happened. I managed to get home the win with Boltyn. And so in this video I'll go through the deck that I played, the matchups that I had, and a little bit about my thought process going into it, and the gameplay. Not the gameplay, just how the games went. Let's start with the deck. I played this deck on stream a couple times. Nothing has changed really from there. There is one spicy change which I put in, and that is I took out 3 beckoning lights to put in Cards of Blade Hold plus Centauri combo. That was because I found that I just couldn't beat Katsu and I couldn't beat Lexi. Lexi for some reason had a better chance against Lexi than I did Katsu. Katsu, I just couldn't figure out the blocks. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to win with Raiden. Maybe I could high roll it with Centauri Sabers. Same with Lexi. And then maybe, because I'm not so familiar with the combo build or the combo gameplay, the lines and that type of thing, I probably should have taken that mentality into other aggressive decks like Briar. But if I were to play Briar, I'd probably stick with Raiden because that's what I know best. So, the deck. Hero Boltyn, obviously. Crown of Providence. I don't think I need to say anything about this card. It's just so good at sieving your hand. I used it in it could have been the finals or the semi-finals, quarterfinals, where I needed to get a 7 block out of my arsenal that I drew off a Bolt of Courage killing a dragon. And I just didn't want that in my hand, because if I had it in my hand, I thought he's going to know it's in my hand, and it's going to put me at 1 card under. Because I'll only drop 3. So I needed this to fix my hand, and not only did it fix my hand, it fixed it into a 5-card hand via the Vanguard turn. Unfortunately, one of those cards was a sink below. Anyways, very good card. Iron Song versus, yeah, I didn't use it that much. I used it a couple times. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 courage tokens throughout the entire tournament. But it did help me sieve my hand out when I needed to, when I had really bad hands, especially at the start of the game, if I was turn 0. Better than the Brave Forge bases. Raiden, yeah, really cool. This card turns the charge card into 3 damage. That's the way you have to look at it. That's the way you have to play Boltyn. Raiden Boltyn is that you're going 3, hitting for 3, charging a card. So you're doing 2 cards at 3 damage, which is horrendous. It's unspeakably bad. The only way for it to work and not even be good is to do 2 cards for 6, which is under an E strike, under a Wounded Bull, Feigned Elves, Fighting Spirit, under all those cards. But its upside is a 2-card for 8 because of the buffs, the bonus buffs. So the charge has to be worth an additional 3 points of damage and a go again. So those two combined, 3 points of damage plus a go again, is maybe worth it. It worked for me, and that's the way I looked at it. Snapdragon Scalers. I just don't think there's anything else better. The two, I think in all 3 of the finals that I played, I didn't use them. Might have used them in the first game, but I don't think I used them against Ian or Kevin in the semis and the final. But it is that insurance card in case you're left with a really bricky hand with a 0 for 3 charge that doesn't have go again, and they don't block it, so you don't get go again when you can't buff it, so you don't get go again. This really helps for those turns. That one-time insurance normally is enough. You have 2 insurance. You've got Snapdragons and you've got Crown of Providence. So those are your 2 insurance cards to turn things around. And everything else in the deck should be built to make sure you get those go-agains. For example, Beaming Bravado. Gets a +1. So you get the Boltyn go again. And this is a 2 for 7 minimum, 2 for 9 if they block with attack actions. They generally don't until they get to really low life. When they get to really low life, then you're in a good spot. 3 reds, 3 yellows, because 3 go again is almost as good as Light the Way red, but it's also yellow, so you pitch it for yellow cards matter. Bolt of Courage, just very good. On hit effect, that if you can get your opponent thinking that you've got Courage Steel Hand, Beacon of Victory, or comes off a Courage token, off a Quicken token, and this becomes a must block. And Killing Dragons at the end of a chain, drawing a card, sticking in arsenal, is a very nice play. Reds and blues, reds and yellows. Again, yellows for the yellow cards matter, and because it's 2 damage, still kills quite a few of the dragons. Does it? I actually don't know. Yellow's not very good, but I think it's just better than the alternatives. And being able to hit it or go up, get it to 4 from a via the Vanguard turn, Courage Steel Hand or Beacon of Victory, it's good. I don't feel like I'm explaining it well enough, but Courage Steel Hand, described as draft chaff by one of my opponents. He was a very nice guy. I don't want to. He was. I think he was just more surprised. It wasn't a negative connotation. Right? Yeah, very nice guy. I think it is. Like I think I explained it in my previous mini deck tech. That it basically does that. What I've mentioned, it turns your charge card into 3 damage plus go again and then rated. So it is a must-have. I mean, you need to be able to buff your attacks, whether it's Courageous Steel Hand or Lumina Lance or whatever it is that pluses your attack. You've got to have them. I was talking about Bolt of Courage, even with Engulfing Light, or if you're in a chain with Illuminate and you want to get that extra soul, this is also very nice to do that. Engulfing Light, yeah, it's just a very good on hit to get your soul up. Helps out in the early games, early stages when you need to build up your soul, and it works really well off a Beacon of Victory when they block it out for 3, Beacon of Victory for 1, and it sort of acts like a free go again in that case, because then you pitch, you banish 1 for the Beacon, banish 1 for the go again, and this goes back into soul. So you need 2 in soul for this to go off with Lumina Ascension and Beacon of Victory. That's sort of what your game plan is, right? You're sort of playing these 2 card 6s, 2 card 7s until you get a Via the Vanguard set up, until you get a Lumina turn set up. and then you go ham with those. Illuminate 0/4, blocks 3, goes to soul. Very good Chane ender as well. Chane ender, ender of chains. Light the way. Not as impressed with this card as Beaming Bravado, but it still forces a block, because then it becomes a 2 for 6 without using your soul. It's the similar function as Engulfing Light, where if you buff it with Courage Steel Hand, Beacon of Victory, then you get the hit if they block with like Warmongers or a non-attack action. You get the hit, you get the go again, and then you attack with your sword, or if you Beacon of Victory, then you get your Lumina and attack without worrying about your soul. Take Flight. I'm really not sure about this card, because it 2 for 6 is subpar. 3 for 7, we're using 3 cards for this card. 1 to pitch, 1 to shoot, and 1 to go and soul. It's 3 for 7. But it saves you soul, and it's great. It's a 4-card hand. I say this, like I'm convinced myself. I've lied to myself so much, where I say this 4-card hand with Lumina Ascension it becomes a 4-card 14 minimum. 4-card 14 minimum, because of the 2 life gain, and if they do block, then you're going to get buffs out of it. So I say 4-card 14. Viscera does that with 3 cards. Yeah. Off a Tunic, it becomes a 3-card 14, which is not bad. Tunic is excuse me. Tunic is the armor and body piece of choice in this deck. So I mean, it's helped me in a lot of games to save soul when I needed it. My replacement might be Express Lightning, but I don't know. It's always nice to have this in Arsenal, because you just wait for your Tunic to come up. Once you get that Tunic counter ready, 3 counters in your Tunic, then you've got a one card block with 3 cards. Get your Tunic counter going, and then attack for 7. So I'm getting reminders to do yoga, which I should be doing later. And then yellows, we play yellows because yellows matter, and they go again, same exactly the same deal as the red, but I think I'd rather play yellow just because of the pitches for yellow than the red. Now, this is where things start to get fun. Valiant Thrust, I love this card, and because we're playing yellows, and this works with a Tunic counter, or it works with Take Flight. Where you Take Flight, Sword, Valiant Thrust off of 1 yellow, 1 charge. I think I did it a couple times. Or ending a chain with a Valiant Thrust off a Tunic counter. It just feels good. One resource, 7 damage. So what you end up doing, and what you need to do to be efficient, and yet you got to jump through a lot of hoops to make Botlyn work. And that is, so you pitch a yellow, you play Take Flight, charge a card. So what is that? Yellow, Take Flight, charge. That's 3 cards, right? So you're coming in for 4, then you sword 7, then another 7. So you're coming in for 14 cards for 4, which is similar again to a Lumina turn. And then if they block, you get potentially 3 more points of damage out of it. Is it amazing? Is it broken? Probably not, but it's what you're hoping for as a Boltyn player. And then these cards they make those 0 for 6s, 3 for whatever I said earlier, give a little bit, get a little bit more. What's the word? You just get a bit more out of it. Like, you're losing a card, but you're getting 1 damage, and that courage token helps you go again to Engulfing Light, Bolt of Courage, Light the Way. So That +1 helps you next turn go from a 2 for 3 into a 2 for 7 with on hits. Banner of Gallantry, same thing. You want this when you want to preserve soul, you prefer this card. When you have enough soul, you prefer the courage card. I like this card a lot. I introduced it into the deck after watching Flame Dog's videos. He plays a very yellow heavy Boltyn, and it just adds at 1 point of value. Whatever you're doing, it adds at 1 point of value. 2 for 6 turns 2 for 7, which is what you need to be aiming for. What you really want is each card to be worth 4 points of value. We don't actually get it in Boltyn, unfortunately, but you really have to make up for it when you set up your big Via the Vanguard turns. Beacon of Vic. This is just a must-have. You're not almost always collecting, searching for Illumina. If you're not searching for Illumina, you're searching for Illuminate, because you've run out of Luminas and you have no resources left. Or if you're not searching for Illuminate and you have a resource floating, you search for a Valiant Thrust. All very good ways to end the chain. And if you have 1 billion soul, you search for a Celestial Cataclysm. Bowling Blade, Popper, really good with a 2-charge Valiant Via the Vanguard turn. I don't think I got many off. I don't think I got any off actually in the tournament, but I have got it off in other instances, and it's just very good. If you can do that, you go 5, 5, 9, and what is that? That's a 4-card hand for 5, 5, 9. So you Tunic, Valiant Thrust of Via the Vanguard, charging 2. Maybe it's a Banneret. If it's a Banneret, even better. Then you have Boltyn Blade in hand, and if you have an Arsenal, then it just gets even better. And then you go 5 from Via the Vanguard, 5 from the Sword, 9 from Bolting Blade, and whatever else is in your arsenal. And generally it's another 5. So they get 24 points of damage with on hit, with potential buffs. And that's sort of the turns you're really building for. It's not the Lumina turns, it's the Via the Vanguard turns. The Lumina turns, I use the Lumina turns to put them on the back foot. The Lumina turns gives me a 5-card hand, strips them of their hand, because they sort of need a block, because I gain life, I gain soul, and I do 8 points of damage with the Lumina Ascension plus whatever I hit before. So they sort of need a block. And then they come back at you with a 2-card hand or just a weapon attack. You take it, and then you get in the Ascendancy. That's sort of the way I try and ebb and flow the game. Is I just stay quite close as much as I can, block, attack, whatever it is, doing 6 damage, building up my soul until I can get Lumina. If I get my Via the Vanguard first, I take quite a bit of damage. I just got to assess the situation. If I get my Lumina first, then you can do a smaller hand with the Lumina. So Lumina hand requires a smaller hand, which means you can block. You can block with 1 card, you block with 2 cards, have something in your arsenal. Beam Bravado into Lumina Ascension, or Tunic into Take Flight into Lumina Ascension. And you're hitting for 12 damage, getting 2 life, getting 2 soul. You do lose soul for the go-agains, but anyways, it is that is the sort of game plan where, and then once you do that, you took a bit of damage, not that much because you blocked. They've blocked with the full hand or their equipment. Then you can start of try and take the aggressor ascendancy roll and prepare for those Via the Vanguard turns. The Tunic counter is so important for this deck that you sort of build your plays around it. Celestial Cataclysm, Popper, yellow, light, and once in a while you get to attack for 7 and go again and do nothing after that, which I did a couple times because you block out, swing for 7, which is 1 card 7. That's like that's a good rate. That's a good rate. Does empty your soul, but whatevs. Lumina Ascension, we spoke about this card. Amazing. Spirit of Rhinar, amazing, and Via the Vanguard. This is what wins you games. I think Via the Vanguard turns. And the dream, the absolute dream of every Boltyn player that plays Raiden, even Sabres, is Via the Vanguard, charging 2. One of those that you've charged is a Spirit of Rhinar. And then you attack 5 with Via the Vanguard, 5 with the next card, 6/6 with your sword after instant speed Lumina comes in. That is what I did against the unfortunate Dromai player Ian in the semi-finals. I think I represented 27 damage, excluding the life gain. 10 of which went to his dragons, and then 17 went to his face. All because of a very good Vanguard Spirit of Rhinar Lumina Ascension turn. I think Spirit of Rhinar was already out. But the cards came into place for me. It might have been a Beacon of Victory, I don't quite remember, but no, it was 27 damage without including buffs, blocks, or life gain. So it could have been a plus 3, 32 points of value if you block through the attack actions. I don't think he did, and again life, which I definitely did. Yeah, so 57 in the main board. What I normally do after this 57 is I just put in 3 for whatever matchup it is. Command and Conquerors, we go into for Rangers, Ninjas, Dromai, and maybe Assassins. I don't know. Assassins, I don't really think so, because no, I think I do bring them in for Assassins. I changed it up a little bit for Assassins because of the prolonged game. Sink Belows coming for Bravo. They come in for Azalea. I brought them in the finals, which I regret doing. Maybe it was just a unlucky draw off the crown block. So I blocked the crown, got rid of my 7 arsenal, drew a card into a 5 card Via the Vanguard turn with a Lumina Ascension. But I had to charge a Sink Below. And the reason why I did that, may have been wrong, is because I just wanted to make sure I had ample soul to finish the game if a Beacon of Victory came up, if a Celestial Cataclysm came up and I needed to use it for whatever reason. And if you did block out my 2 Lumina strikes, then I wouldn't have got those 2 soul that I got. But yeah, I think because I knew it was a red liner deck, you're able to see your opponent's deck list. He had so many 0-for-4s that I thought this is just such an efficient block. Why the hell not? I didn't block with it once, I charged it. Banner Protection, Wizards, Runeblades. Soul Shield, Azalea, Assassins, Guardians, Bravo. Same with Sink Below. Sink Below also comes in for the Assassins because of the tricks. It's mainly Azuri. I don't have much experience against Arachne. Mainly Azuri. You want to block, and then they do their Azuri thing, and then you do your Sink Below. Yeah, so this combo I already spoke about. Faendal Spring Tunic. It's just like, if you're playing Via the Vanguard and Take Flight, you need this. Otherwise, those cards become so weak. They become unplayable. Even if Via the Vanguard, the 4-card hand, where you pitch 1, charge 1, because you don't want to charge 2. You're losing value out of that. So you pitch 1, charge 1, attack for 4, attack for 4, attack for 4. It's still kind of a weak turn, and it really, really doesn't feel good to take damage for that turn. If you have a 5-card hand, yeah, okay, you can do a little bit more. You 15 damage on average with on hits. But Tunic is a must-have. It should actually be up here somewhere. I should keep it here because I entire weekend I was running Tunic. Halo of Illumination, Wizards. That's it. You really don't want to. I really don't want to spend a yellow to block 2 arcane damage when that yellow is worth 3. That yellow's worth 3 points of damage or 3 block, but I'm using it to prevent 2 damage. So this not only keeps your resources available in hand, because I don't know how often you're going to AB more than 1 or 2 in a game. It also prevents that final kill, snap what's it called, their boots, Stormstrider boots turn. So if they are trying to kill you on your turn after you've charged, you have spell void 3 basically through Soulbound and discard. And by that late stage in the game, you should charge 2 Bannerets of Protection. So you're looking at 4 to 5 points of protection from AB that will stop Aether Wildfire, Aether Ice Vein, and then you can pitch to Northern Boots if you have the resource to do that as well. So that's what that's for. Northern Boots, just spoke about that. Soulbound Resolve, just wizards. I've thought about bringing it in for aggro decks, but the aggro decks are now the Courage Bladehold shakedown, whatever the word is. Yeah, Soulbound Resolve. I really like it though. I think if I do get rid of the Sabers hybrid strat, I would bring this into the aggro games. Bring some sinks, bring some what are they called? Soul Shields, and just play a really grindy game. I still don't think Boltyn is defensive enough where we can block and then do something like a Bravo can do, which is a Crippling Crush or a Spinal Crush. The on hits from Boltyn are not going to stop your opponent from doing things. That's the problem. That's why I think you need to play very grindy and then go off. And then once you've gone off, you keep that pressure going with Snapdragons for your clunky turns, Helm of Providence to fix your hand, and then pray to Bellona that you're going to draw some nice hands. And yeah, that brings me on to Prayer Bellona. I know a lot of Boltyn players think it's the she's knees, the bee's knees. It just doesn't. For me, whiffing once is like rolling a 1 with Scab Skins. Not that bad, but the deck building has to be different. Too much sacrifice has to be made for that card to work, which is why I don't play it. Yes, okay, so that's the deck tech. I'm not very experienced in deck teching, but I hope that gives you an idea of why I played the cards that I played and sort of the uses of them. I guess, yeah, so yeah, I mean, the general strategy is match your opponent blow for blow and then go off with set up your turn, take a bit of damage, set up your arsenal with a Beacon of Victory, Limb Ascension, or be the Vanguard. So you have 3 good cards to set up your turn with and go off. Or you set up your turn with a Beam Bravado in Arsenal because you know that you can hit a Lumina off of that, or you can activate Lumina after that. What I really like to do, if it's possible, is have always a not always, I say always, a buff pump spell card in my arsenal, because again, I spoke about insurance of the go again. You need that go again in order for this deck to put up some numbers. If you crack an opponent, you do Lumina turn, they block their full hand, they take 2 damage, you gain 2 life, you gain a couple soul, whatever, but they have no hand, you draw back up to 4 cards, and you've got Gulfing Light, Illuminate, Light the Way, and Bolting Blade. It's like you're in a lot of trouble, because if they block Light the Way with whatever, you spend 2 cards, you got 2 cards in hand, just like do nothing. So you need to find that way to give it a go again. So I prioritize putting Courage Steel Hands, Beacon of Victories in Arsenal when I don't know what's coming up, or if I know I've used up my Luminas or my Vita Vanguards. If I haven't seen the Vita Vanguard Lumina for a long time, then I know it's going to come up soon. Then I might play a little bit differently. But if I haven't, then I always put a Courageous Steel hand when I have the chance. If I'm doing 7 damage this turn, I can do 10. No, I'm not going to do 10. I'll put it in my arsenal instead. Because on the next turn, it's going to set up a 9 damage turn at the worst case scenario. Yes. Okay, so that is Zedektik. Now we can go on to the actual tournament. And so let me bring it up here. These are the heroes that I played. I should probably name these. Can I name these? Let's check it out. What am I doing? No, that's not it. Let's check it out. Give me a moment. Squiggly, squiggly. Let's change the color. This is round 1. Still black. Do anything? Okay, round 1, round 2, round 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Where the hell is it? 2. 3. It's taken longer than I would have liked for it to take. Let's see. Let's try again. 3. Okay. So, and then it goes 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So the 6 middle ones, not middle ones, the middle left ones are draft. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12 are CC, and then the final 3 are the top 8. So, before the tournament started, I was working a lot with my friends in Alkmaar. I'm not working a lot. On Tuesday night, I talk to them because that's when I organize a Armory event, and it's always CC. Tuesday night, a couple of Tuesday nights before the event, I would talk to them and ask them about heroes and pick their brains and stuff. So they really helped me out. But I still couldn't decide. So on the train down to Eindhoven, which is about a 2-hour train ride for me, I pulled out my laptop, got on Talishar, and I just jammed games with Rhinar, thinking there's going to be a load of Dromais, which there were. There was like 20 Dromais and 90 players or something. And as you can see, I played 6 of them. But I just didn't feel comfortable with Rhinar. I felt too stressed. I didn't know how to roll or not roll, or when do I take the risks. So I thought, no, I can't do this. It's just too much. I had Boltyn built up in brand new sleeves. I had a cold foil Boltyn hero. And I know how to play Boltyn. It might not be the best hero, but I do enjoy playing him, so let's just play Boltyn. So 11:30 the night before the event, 29 minutes before the cutoff time, I sent my deck list, and that's when I sort of flipped the coin. Do I put in the Courage of Bladehold armor, or do I stick to what I originally had, which was the Beckoning Light? The Beckoning Light would have helped me a lot more because I didn't see any aggro decks. And Beckoning Light was there for the Dromai matchup, where I could start a Chane or 2-card hand, whatever it was, kill a dragon, get a popper from my graveyard, put it back on top of my deck, and then force them to change their game plan into thinking about, don't attack the dragon, what else can I do? Anyways, I did what I did because I thought there'd be a lot more Lexis, but the Dromais just dominated the tournament. Top tables full of Dromais, and a spattering of other decks like Boltyn. Game 1, I played against a guy called Kurt. Very nice guy. I think he said he was not new, but he wasn't an old guard of Flesh and Blood. He really enjoyed playing Bravo. It was a close game. Bravo for me is a good matchup because they have a lot of attack actions and they're a defensive blocky deck. If they're blocking, they're leaking damage. If they're not blocking, they can't ever really take advantage of a 5 or 4 card hand. But he did put me on the back foot with a couple rousing turns. I think he got a couple good dominated turns, which I timed well with my arsenal fixing of D-reacts. And then I had to, then I went off with my my turns. And you get to see the ebb and flow of a game and just look at the life total. You can see, okay, I'm losing 6 to 8 life a turn, he's losing 3 life a turn. Then I'm losing 5 life a turn, he's losing 5 life a turn. Now I'm losing 1 life a turn because I can only hammer him for 4, and he's losing 6 to 7 life a turn. And then that's when I start really mixing up my turns and getting some good stuff. So it always starts off close, but if I can manage to sort of manipulate the game in a way where I can set up a nice D-react in Arsenal or set up my Via the Vanguard and just be patient, just wait for that turn, because a Bravo can't dominate you every turn with on hits. They can, and it sucks when they do, but it's not likely. So that's sort of what I played out to, and it worked. Game 2 against Rhinar. So this is a tick. Let's change this now to green. Tick. Game 2 against Rhinar. This is on stream. Bagel TCG. You can check it out on the YouTube. I was a little bit nervous because you just don't know what's going to happen against Rhinar. They could high roll you, literally get 4s, 5s, 6s. They could hit with every single discard and just mess you up. This Rhinar played a little bit conservatively, I felt. They rolled once and it got 2. The player's name is Brandon, also very, very, very nice guy. He didn't have any of the wild rides, the pulpings, that type of thing. I got hit by 2 Blood Rush Bellows. But yeah, it felt like a tame Rhinar. He played pummels, and if you're playing pummels, I think you don't want to discard too much. Based on my experience with Rhinar, you either want to have 6s or you want to play the pummel game, and with the pummel game, you're not doing the discard game. So he had the barrage beat downs. He had 2/6. I think he was playing a Tunic with a 2-cost 6 to try and pummel. So a bit of a hybrid between Man Sense pummel and normal Rhinar. You can watch the game on stream there. I don't remember anything that stood out in terms of what I had to do. Yeah. Dromai. First Dromai. At this point, I was thinking, okay, I have almost 100% win record against Dromai online in Talishar, so I wasn't too scared about Dromai. But the Dromai player, like most players who I saw, it's not because they're arrogant, just because you're facing Boltyn, you think, okay, this should be quite an easy win. And therefore they don't really know the lines of defense to take against me. When to block, how to block, that type of thing, and how much damage I can output, what cards to watch out for, that type of stuff. So that did help me in my favor. I managed to sneak this win. I think I was on like 3 life at the end, or 5 life, and I managed I win at the end. I don't really remember too much about this game. I definitely won it against a guy called David. Also a nice guy. I mean, Fab community in Holland is great. Around the world, I'm not sure, but in Holland it's absolutely fantastic. Everyone is very encouraging, very supportive, and it sucks to lose, right? But after the game, they will say thanks for the game. They'll say good game, and you know you'll see them later throughout the day, and they'll be very supportive. Hey, how did you do? Oh, congratulations, and that type of thing. Next up, we go into the draft. 6 rounds of draft. This was super tough because I went Levia, and to my left was a Levia, and to my right was a Levia. So perhaps I should have read the signals better. But I was so deep in it. The right player to the right wasn't Levia until pack 2 or 3, and for me, I thought that was just not going to happen because pack 1 I got some good Levia cards. Pack 2, okay, I knew there were players to my left who were playing Levia because I wasn't getting much. So I thought, okay, pack 3, because there's got to be nothing to my right. If I'm not getting much, on my right, it's not getting anything. So I was thinking pack 3, I'm going to get the goods for Levia. I got like nothing. Literally, I had 5 to 6 6s, a load of 5 power blood deck cards that banished, I think 3 ghostly visits, 3 void something, whatever they're called, 5 attack from Banish Zone. It was so bad that I was like, okay, I'm going to 0-3 this draft. And I played against, I think, the only Boltyn on the table, or maybe there's 2 Boltyns, but he was, during the draft, Vita, his name, is a very funny guy. He was just, towards the end of the draft, he was just like super happy because his deck was coming along so well. And that was the guy I was playing, because you play across from you. So I was a bit nervous. So we built our decks, we came down, and I said to him, okay, if you lose, you need to forfeit this tournament. Just as a joke, he's like, yeah, my deck's really good. And then somehow, I just got the cards I needed. I got him down to like 8 life or something. He got me down to 5 life. I took a chunk of damage at the end, and my blood deck was going to kill me. Or maybe it wasn't going to kill me, but it was doing me no good. And then I had 5 cards or 6 cards in the graveyard. One was a 6. Classic Levia story. The good way is I played Convulsions, and I needed to hit that 6 to get the +3 dominate. Hit the 6, Dread Screamer, red Dread Screamer, goes into my Banish Zone. I have another blue in hand, so I played 1 blue to that, another blue in hand. I pitched the blue to play a Spew Shadow to get a card, because I have no more cards to play, out of my Banish Zone to attack him. And because he's a light hero, I get +2 more, so I got +5 dominate on my Graveling Growl that's coming out. So I think he was at 4 life or something. So I had 12 dominate. He had 8 block of armor. 4 block of armor plus 1 card from hand. So put him at -1. Just managed to kill him. Sneak that win. Very, very lucky. But I'll take it. Against Prism, a player called Caillou, also extremely nice guy, and he was. I was talking to him throughout the whole tournament. I saw him, bumped him a lot of times, and he was always encouraging me and congratulating me when I told him how I was doing. But he beat me quite comfortably here. I think it was just, I wasn't getting my blood debts as the deck should have gone. That's how it went. And yeah, so he defeated me. Yeah, I don't know how much I should talk about this draft stuff, because I'm by no means a draft expert. There are other players who can tell you that. Then I played against one of the other Levias who was on my left, so he would have had Gerben. He would have had a worse deck than me, because 2 packs he suffered on. I think it was just a very conservative game, because both of us didn't have much to do. And he managed to, I think I kept my blood debt off, or I didn't have blood debt, or I kept it off, but he had 1. He had that 6 block defense reaction. That dealt him 3 damage over the course of the game, and those 3 points of damage was, just forced him to block when he didn't, otherwise wouldn't have needed to. And he ran out of cards in his deck, so I managed to put on more pressure than him. And yeah, okay, I played 3 ghostly visits, 3 void, whatever they're called, but they worked really well with Underworldly Bellow. So if you manage your graveyard correctly, have 3 in the grave, and then you get to Underworldly Bellow into a ghostly visit for 8. It's a 2-card 8. It's not bad. It's really, really not bad, especially if you think a 2-card 7 from that other attack, red attack, is a decent play. I also had the Hooves, which I don't think he had, and the Hooves is just so good for Levia. Okay, let's take this off. That was a win there. Coming up to round 7 of pod 2 of the draft. I was on the top table at this point. Drafting with the big boys. This was better because there was a clean split of 2 and 2 heroes. Everyone was more in sync with what they wanted to play, and they were reading the signs better, which made it easier for me. I thought at 3. I thought at this, when I was building my Levia deck this time around, I thought it had a 3-0 deck. Whereas before I had a 0-3 deck, this time I thought I had a 3-0 deck because it was so damn good. I had 16 or 17 6s. incredible. So I came into the first game against Prism, and this is against Kevin, the guy who played in the final. And I look across the table and I think, okay, I'm gonna pop everything and then destroy this Prism. But he just played so well. Like, I gotta tip my hat to this guy. The way he played, how the way he structured his game and attacked when he needed to or not when he needed to, whatever it was. And then he managed to get a prismatic shield, red prismatic shield off. One of my downturns, prismatic shield, and 3 blues in hand. So he just swung for 12, and I was on like 10 at that point. And he was on 3, I was on 10, so he took some damage. And then I had to block out. I had to come back with a crappy attack. I think I popped 2 of his shields, and then he attacked with 1 shield, and then it was just game from there. I just couldn't do anything. He choked me out with those shields. So good for, oh no, so it's not a cross. That's not a tick, that's a cross. Congrats, Kevin there. And that's when I knew, like, okay, when I saw him in the top 8, like, this guy, if I play this guy, it's gonna be tough, because he's a calculative one. Calculative, is that a word? Next up, I forgot the name of this guy, and I apologize. I do know, if I see him, I will know who he is. He was the other Levia player. He did not get the hooves. I got the hooves, I think, which made a big difference. Again, very nice guy. So far, I've played 7 games against great people who have all been just decent humans. And no exception here in round 8. He played the more, not defensive, but no blood debt. I was like going ham on blood debt. And so I couldn't take my foot off the throttle. I had to keep going. And I think it got to a point where I also fatigued him almost, or he attacked with his hammer, his axe, and he needed to hit the top card for me to block with 2 cards. Otherwise, I would have died. Or I'd block with 2 and I'd swing back with 1, whatever it was. He didn't, so I could come back with a 3-card hand, which I don't recall exactly what it was, but probably could have been a go again into the axe. I did a lot of good turns. I did a lot of like 6 into Dread Screamer into axe for 11, or blue Dread Screamer into Graven Growl for 11. So he took that pretty well, defended pretty well. It got to like 1 point each, 1 life each, 2 life each, whatever it was, and then he needed that to hit. He whiffed on that, and I managed to take it home. Choink. Well, that's a fat tick. Next up, I'm against Caillou again, who I lost to in round 5 on Prism. This time I'm playing him on Chane, and I could tell just by his attitude that he in a very good deck, and I was paired down for this match, so we tried to figure that out, but that's just the way Gem works. And I didn't really know what strategy to take here, so I just went with the fatigue strategy. I didn't build up my blood there at all. I got a lot of 3 blocks, and if I want to hit him for 7, I can hit him for 7 when I need to do that. His deck unfortunately had to be built with 1 bauble, so there was a weakness there, but he still got me down to like 5 life on the last turn, and then he conceded. I think he could have done another 2 or 3 damage, so it could have been down to 2 points of life, 1 point of life, but then he couldn't do anything after that, so he conceded there, because he had 0 deck, 1 card in hand. I just needed to swing with the axe, and I think he would have died to blood there as well. So that's a win. That's day 1. I'm feeling pretty good, going at 7-2, and then telling everyone who I meet, like, hey, what's up, how you doing, 7-2? Oh man, who you playing? Boltyn. Oh, so you did really well in draft then? I said, no, I went 3-0 in CC. And then you sort of see their face, and that's when they start laughing, like, how the hell did you do that? And I said, I don't know, I really don't know. And the draft was not bad. I think it should have gone worse, or could have gone worse. But I got 2-1-2-1, which I think is what I would have hoped for if I were to. Yeah, it's what I did hope for, especially with the first deck I got. That night I sat down with the Alekmar boys again. They're not from Alekmar, from nearby. I keep saying Alekmar because I play with them in Alekmar. Sander, Wouter, and Niels, and we had dinner. We spoke about sort of the matchups and just a little bit about Fab, not too much. Just enjoyed ourselves and sort of try to relax, because it was 10 hours in this really hot, stuffy store environment, where after every single game I had to go outside for 5 minutes and just stare at a tree by myself, because it was just so noisy, so constricting. A lot of people just couldn't handle it. They played through, but a lot of people just didn't want to be in that situation. It was pretty tough. A lot of water. Was drunk that day. Anyway, we had a nice Greek dinner. Then we met some other guys, Stefan, Gary, Aiden, for a brewski in the hotel. Stefan was another top 8er. Sander was a top 8er, and Aiden and Gary, lovely guys who I met that day, and were also very encouraging. And I picked their brains during a draft beforehand, or Aiden's brain during a draft beforehand, and they're very helpful. Had some good night rest. I told myself, okay, I'm going to practice against Dromai, because there's the whole top seed are going to be Dromai, so I need to practice against Dromai. Instead of doing that, I just went straight to bed, and I thought, what's going to happen is going to happen, and I'll figure it out tomorrow against these dragon mistresses. So woke up next day, went on search for coffee, couldn't find it. That's fine, I had water instead, probably better for me. And I sat down round 1 against Mannheim, the Oppenheimer. I think it's Mannheim. I met him the day before, the Friday of this. I've met him before in other events, but so I caught up with him briefly on the Friday before the events. Very nice guy. I got to share with him some Hong Kong jokes, because I was born and raised in Hong Kong. He's born and raised in Holland, but I think his family comes from Hong Kong. My family comes from not Holland but South Africa. So it was a little bit funny. I was trying to speak to him in Cantonese. I think he was just being polite and laughing at my horrible pronunciation. So I played against him, and this is the first game I've played in a long time that I just felt I had no chance in winning. Zero. Outside of Katsu and Lexi, I have not been beaten this badly in a long time. And credit to him, he's a fantastic player. But he was in the driver's seat from turn 0 to turn whatever it was at the end. Didn't break a sweat. I made a little mistake on the tunic. He said, you know what, take the tunic. It's not going to matter. He didn't say that, but it didn't matter. You know, he had a control Dromai deck, all dragons, all D-reacts. None of my attacks did anything in terms of buffs. My big turns were diluted because I had to spend the resources, the cards on the dragons. Otherwise, I just get overwhelmed. I popped a lot of dragons, and I sort of stayed within reach, but never close enough to clinch it. So I think he ended up with 15 life, and I ended up with 2 cards in my deck. So there's just no way in hell I was going to win that game. And I was at that point like, okay, crap, this is what, when I do that, this is what Dromais are actually going to do to me. And so I was freaking out, because to my left was a Dromai, to my right was a Dromai, across the table was a Dromai, and it was just nuts how many Dromais were in that top table. Especially the Ian TCG team. You got Mannheim, Ian, Kevin, who I lost to, Jimmy. All these guys are really good players, and I think they're all playing Dromai, so they all play test together. They're all doing pretty well. But luckily, I met a beautiful Bravo. Michelle was his name. He had I think a fully foil deck. Really nice dude. We just talked and we had fun in this game. I hope he had fun as well. We were just chatting and just playing like friends would play, and not so much like enemies across the table. Not that anyone else was like that at all throughout the tournament, but this just felt a bit more casual at this point. It's weird because this was a winning in for me. Not winning in, sorry. Well, it actually was a winning in for me, not knowing. But it was a lose and get knocked out for both of us. And it's same situation as game one on the first day. Just be really smart about putting your D-reacts in. Don't be greedy. If you have a D-react in hand, make sure you get it into your arsenal. And then save up for those big turns, because he's going to get you some dominates. It's going to happen. And if you get some early, the Bravo player generally starts to get a little bit more greedy because the life total says they can take some damage. That's good, because they're going to eventually draw 4 blues. It's just going to happen, or 4 reds. He drew, I think, in one turn he drew Sink Below, Fate Foreseen, Grand and Conquer, another Fate Foreseen, something like that. And that's the turn that I managed to. So I blocked with 2. Still, I had to block with 2, which is kind of annoying. Oh no, I think I blocked with my Crown of Providence, and then I came back with a 5-card hand. And I think the flow changed there. The tempo changed in favor of me. That was, it was a really good game. I love playing Bravo. I just think Bravo is a really cool hero. And it's always grindy. It's always fair when you're playing Bravo. Well, I say that until I get Crippling Crush dominated multiple times in a row, or Rouse the Ancient into Hammer, into Rouse the Ancient, to Hammer, into Rouse the Ancient. I think he roused into Hammer and then put a Starstruck in Arsenal. And so he had 13 points of damage, and then potentially had a Dominate Starstruck coming up. I don't remember what I did to get out of that situation, but out of it I got. It's all I have to say about that. I think it went down to sub 10s for me, around 5 or 6 life. Maybe yeah, I think I was at 9 life. It was like 9 each. He only had 1 card. He hammered me for 4, and I came back at him with a full grip, and then I ended there. Yeah, final match of Swiss. I met Stefan, who I spoke about briefly the night before. We had a beer. Him and a couple of other guys. Stefan's awesome. Stefan's really cool. As soon as we saw we were facing each other, we both gave a little laugh, and we, nice high five, like cool people do. Say good luck. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just no bad words for Stefan. I don't think I've said bad words about anyone, but Stefan is a cool dude. He's on Dromai, and I got destroyed by Dromai just a round, but before that, 2 rounds before that. So I'm thinking, crap, what the hell do I need to do to beat another Dromai? And going into this, I was, I think, 8th seed, or I was like 10th seed. Maybe it was 8th seed. I don't remember. I think I was 8th seed at this point. So I had to win. I felt like I had to win to stay in. He was 6th seed or 5th. He was the top of the X3s. I was maybe bottom or middle of the X3s. So I think he had the chance to lose. I felt like I didn't. Anyways, it was a much closer game than the previous one. But he still played more defensively than the Dromais that I'm used to playing. Defense reactions, sigils, and then the dragons come in and do their dirty work. And he beat me. I went down 3 with a last-ditch effort of Beacon of Victory, using my entire soul, plus my entire soul, and then a searching for something stupid like a Take Flight, because I had 10 cards in deck or something. And yeah, then he managed to block it out, and he beat me. So my dreams at this point were dashed. I was like, okay, I got so far on Boltyn. I could have represented Boltyn in the top 8. I could have made the Boltyn believers, the believers, the happy. Give the Boltyn players something to be happy about. So I sat there, and I had a drink, and I was thinking, it was a good run. I didn't expect to do this well. that's not the amount I prepare and play, and the indecision I have in playing a hero. I don't expect to do this well at all. So I had to console myself in that regard, and then I went to sit down at one of the tables by myself, because I like to sort of get out of the talking sometimes and just be in my own head. And then we had Tom, our amazing head judge, such a cool guy. I know from North Holland. He plays Chane in Iceland. I played him a couple of times. Very, very cool guy, and I think a very fair judge. Or I don't think fair judge is the right word. A good judge, because you play by the rules and you do what you have to do what's right. Anyways, he was the one who announced top 8, but he did it really late. So he said, okay, all these announcements, raffles coming later, lunch is doing this, drafts doing that. It's like top 8. And you know, you're in the chance for top 8, so you're thinking maybe there's a chance. I hated that. So that moment I was like pooping my pants, because there was a chance I could be there. But if I had lost 2 more games, I know there's 0 chance. I don't know what situation it's better to be in. Anyways, he starts off with number 8, Bradley Wayburn, and then I could just see my friends from across the corner and a couple other guys just cracking up, and I can hear other people saying, "Boltyn, yeah, come on, Boltyn." So, yeah, that was the first. The second. I think the first luck that came my way was winning 2 in that really bad draft deck I had. The second bit of luck came in now, where all the other wins and losses in that final round had to go my way in order for me to be the only X4 to make the top 8. And I was at that point, all the stress was gone. I couldn't stop laughing. I was just laughing. I was thinking, what the hell's happening? This shouldn't be happening. I also felt a little bit undeserving, because everyone else was an X3 and I was in the X4, so I did have that weighing on me. But that also made me laugh a little bit more. And as someone who hasn't mentioned, Billy was every game we'd go to each other and say, "Hey, have you won?" And we'd sort of support each other. He was laughing as well. And then every time I saw him, he would crack up, just because it was so unbelievable that Boltyn would get into the top 8. I think it was Boltyn, not me. I hope it was Boltyn and not me. I hope he felt it was more believable that I got in top 8 rather than Boltyn. Anyways, I got in top 8. Super chuffed. I still can't believe my luck. And then I go for a quick bite with Sander, Wouter, and Niels. Sander also made the top 8 on Dash. I think he was sixth or 5th, something like that. He was a X3, and he had to beat the previous reigning national champion in order for him to go through and for me to go through. And maybe if he lost, he still would have gone through as the last X4. So I'm very grateful that he won his last game. So thank you, Sander. And then, yeah, so then we had a top 8 of 5 Dromais, 1 Briar, 3rd seed, Briar, Didier, a Dash, Sander, and a Boltyn. And of the Briar, of the Dromais, every single one of them was just a very good player. Not a single, in the top 8. And it was a bit like, what am I doing here with these guys? Type of feeling, because I'm playing Boltyn. I love Boltyn, don't get me wrong. I love Boltyn, and he's fun and he's cool, and you can get some insane turns out of him, but I think we can all face the truth and say there had to be some bit of luck involved for Boltyn to get there. So we had 5, every player there. So Didier, the Briar player, I think he went like 9-0 or 8-0, and then he lost a couple games to Malik, who was a Dromai player. And then the other Dromai players were Ian, who I was later told is one of the best Dromai players around. Manheim, the Oppenheimer, he was in the running. I knew if I saw him I'd lose. Stefan, who I lost to already, and Kevin, who I've lost to already as well in the draft. So it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good at all. So let's fast forward to match 1 against the number 1 seed, Malik. Very like I said, I don't know what it is. I come from a Magic background, and it's not like I've had any bad experience in Magic, but in Flesh and Blood, I've only had good opponents. Only had good experience opponents. Good experience with my opponents in terms of the friendliness, the camaraderie, the sort of just overall gaming experience. Malik was no exception. We played a good game. I'm gonna sneeze again. Very good game. I drew very well. He drew very poorly. I don't remember too much of this game. The thing that I remember very clearly that I have nightmares about is the missed courage trigger. He was at 5 life. This is that should have been the final turn of the game. Maybe it wasn't at 5 life, but I got him down to 5 life. If I had announced the courage token to trigger, he would have been at 4 life. 0 cards in hand, 1 block remaining in his armor, and I had an Illuminate coming in for 6. No, he's at 6 life. So yeah, and I had Illuminate coming in for 6. So he should have been at 5. Now Illuminate was coming in for 6. He blocks with his armor. He's still dead. But the courage token didn't trigger. It just whiffed because I forgot it, and so I spoke to Tom, the judge, and he said, "No, this is what happens when we get this far ahead. Fair play, my fault, whatever." I had to really tell myself, forget about it. It happened, because if I just allow myself to get salty, and then misplay or whatever because it was so close, then it wouldn't help me in my chances. So just put it behind me and then continue. So that's what I did. And I managed to draw a very good hand after that, which is another V the Vanguard hand. And I was thinking here, do I set up the V for the following turn and definitely win, or do I maybe win this turn? And I said, screw it, I'm here. How many more chances am I going to have at being the number 1 seed after Swiss in Holland? Very good player. Let's just go for it. So that's exactly what I did. I went for it, and I think the first one I was just praying don't see a D-React. So if you didn't have a D-React, every attack you had to block with 2 cards, and I was coming 3 times with 4. So you had to block 2, die. So D-React was the first one. I was like, oh damn it. Second one, he blocked 2. Third one, I leaked in that last point of damage. Yeah. After the game, I spoke to him a little bit about how it went for him, and he said, because I know the first turn that he did, he popped his time skippers, I think, to make 3 ash, pitching sigil, something else. So I knew I had to race the hell out of him before he sees those 2 sigils. I asked him why he didn't play those 2 sigils. He said, well, it's just not going to help me, because I need the ash to get the dragons. If I don't get the dragons, then I'm not doing much. And I'm no Dromai player, no expert by any means, so excuse me. So I don't know. I didn't know what was best there. I thought having those being at 46 life was a better buffer than making the ash, but yeah, I'm probably wrong there. And then he drew his rakes very late, and apparently rakes win you the game against Boltyn, which I don't mind too much. You know, I can take up damage here and there on his race, and you attack me the first one, I might pop it, and then I swing. But they do add up. The damage does add up. But it's not the rakes that bother me. It's the other nasty dragons, the Calorias and other stuff. Yeah, so I took the win there. Very surprised. Turned to my friends again. We're all laughing. Like, how is this still going on? Why? And I went outside, because now it's not timed, you have a bit more time between matches. Went to my tree, cracked up a little bit, called my wife, who's so supportive throughout the whole thing, and is demanding we go to Spain now, even though I told her I don't think I can manage another tournament like that. She really wants to go to Spain. So I said, we'll go. Maybe I'll regret not going, so I should probably go. And yeah, she's super supportive. Spoke to her, spoke to my kids, got a lovely video phone call with them, and just like really, I was really happy, but just seeing them just really put everything in perspective and said, this doesn't matter. It matters. I don't want to belittle this tournament at all, but this is, my family is miles above that. So whatever happens in the next game, happens in the next game. Just be grateful for where I am at the moment. So that was nice. And then I was like, okay, as long as I dodge Ian, I have a chance to make it into the finals. And then I was looking around, checking who won, and as long as I dodge Mannheim, Oppenheimer, and Ian, I think I would have a chance, because I think I could beat. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but I thought I could beat Kevin over the other guys. Just because of the reputation I think that Ian has as being one of the best Dromai players around, and Mannheim, Oppenheimer for absolutely destroying me. I think that was it. I didn't want to play Bravo either. Not Bravo, Briar, because I think it's just a bad matchup. I don't think I could win that. And as you would have it, I face up against Ian, who I've never actually met properly before, been formally introduced to before. But I know him from Ian TCG and buying cards from him in the early days of Fab, and just he used to organize, him and Jimmy used to organize tournaments for Rhodes, ProQuest, Rhodes and Nats. I went to a couple of those. Always very, very lovely, very polite. Again, I can't stress this enough. The community in Holland is healthy, it's positive, it's encouraging. That's how I feel. Anyways, other people might say differently, but that's how I felt. And I'm not even Dutch. Like they welcome me in. They speak English. They lose to Boltyn gracefully. It's a joke. That last part was a joke. They're not a joke. It's a very comforting environment. So I sit down across this guy, this whiz, this expert at the game. Check out his bling cards, gold foils here, gold foils there, alt art, spectral shields. Like, oh god, this ain't gonna go down well. I've got my gold foil, sexy as Boltyn, and then like a mixed match of cheap cards lying around here and there. At this point, I did have my gold foil. Iron Song Versus, so I could have put it in, but it was just so ugly. I'm not gonna put. Ugly because of the plastic wrapping and the tape. So I didn't want to take it out, and I won't put it in. It'll distract me with this ugliness. This game was the best game I had all tournament in terms of the draws, how the opponent pressured me, or didn't pressure me, lack of pressure I should say. And just overall, everything went my way. I can't say what he was thinking or how he was playing or how he kept his hands, didn't keep his hands. But I think I won on 20 life or 22 life, something like that. And I was so flabbergasted by that. Like, how did I do that? But I had the very, very good Lumina, View the Vanguard into Lumina off of within Arena, Spirit of Arena in play. And I think I spoke about it briefly. I did 27 damage, not counting life gain or additional buffs from the blocks that they may have done. And that was just one of the turns I did. That was obviously the best turn, but I did a couple of those turns. I did I think I did a Take Flight into Sword, into Valiant Thrust, into Illuminate. So that was an 18 damage turn. without any bomb cards. So I did the bomb card stuff, and then I did that turn as well. So it was a tough matchup, tough match for him. Very, very good match for me. And yeah, that's all she wrote. Looked over to my friends; they're still laughing at me to how I got this. Got messages on the phone because I think some of the guys that left at that point. Congratulations! This one was not streamed. The first game was. The one against Malik was streamed, so you can check that out again. Bagel TCG, was it TCG Bagel, whatever. You could check out, especially the misplay at the end, the courage token I missed, which could have cost me this wonderful journey. Finals, we see Kevin beating Didier in a close game. Did he beat Didier? I think he beat Didier in a close game. Briar just couldn't push through to get that win, so I was glad about. I've now beaten 2 Dromais, but this third Dromai is not the same. This is a red liner Dromai, super aggressive, and for me I thought that's better. I thought that's better because it means you can't block, and if he wants to block, it just makes it awkward for him, so he's probably not going to block, and that means he's going to attack. So that's why I put in the sink belows. And I felt good. I had a very good start. It's streamed as well, you can see it. I blocked out. He attacked with a breaking point to start the game. Make an ash, furnace for another ash. Blocked that for 6. Had a Spirit of Rhinar in hand, I think. A Lumina in hand, I think. No, yeah, Spirit of Rhinar. A Take Flight and a Lumina. That's what I had in hand. So I think I'm gonna, no matter what, I'm gonna take flight into Lumina. This is what's gonna happen. But I draw another Lumina and a Spirit of Rhinar. I'm thinking, damn, if that take flight was a Bolt of Courage or a, I don't know, Engulfing Light, whatever. Engulfing Light would have been absolutely perfect. Light the Way would have been good as well, but he probably would have blocked that. So if it was Engulfing Light, that would have been a double Lumina turn off of Spirit of Rhinar charge. As it was a single Lumina to start the game that put you up to 42, put him down to 33 or something. So really, at the start of the game, I was 9 points up. Then from there, it was back and forth. I think that got him. So then I went to 28. He was at 17. Then he got a few good attacks out against me. Rabble into Blazing Headlong into a 5 E-Strike, draw a card. And that's when I drew into my 5 card Via the Vanguard with Tunic up and a sink below. So that sink Via the Vanguard, Lumina, sink below, one of the bannerets, something else. So that turn could have done 4 more damage. If it did that 4 more damage, the game would have been over much quicker. As it was, I sucked because I had 4 attacks, 2 from the Lumina, from the Raiden, 1 from Via the Vanguard, 1 from like a, I don't know, 0 for 3, 3 attack, 4 attack, I don't know. So that extra point that I should have got in there potentially could have given me more damage. Anyways, it was still a very good turn where I managed to get, what was it, 5, 10, 18 damage off, and he only had 17 lives, so I think I put him down to 8 at this point. Then he swung back with, I think, a snatch and then a dust up, block, snatch, dust up, Chromai, snatch, dust up. Blocked, had a really bad hand. This was at this point my hand was so bad I thought, oh crap, this has happened to me again. I've bricked, so I had to block the I think it was a, what did I have? I don't remember what I have anymore. I took the Chromai, blocked the snatch with a card plus my armor, took the dust up, Oh yes, I had a card in Arsenal, which I still haven't used. I think it was a Courageous Steel hand, I think, and I had a Lumina in hand, another Lumina. And then I attacked with one card, Illuminate, into his freaking... no, so the hand before that was also really bad. It was Bolting Blade, Valiant Thrust, Celestial Cataclysm, Valiant Thrust. And he came at me with a Breaking Point. So I blocked that for 2 or something, I forgot what it was. Attacked with Celestial Cataclysm, put some more pressure on, Arsenal the Valiant Thrust. And as we got to the later stages, then it was that turn where I had to illuminate his Chromai and keep a Lumina Ascension in hand because I just couldn't charge, couldn't do anything. So I had two bricky hands in a row. Managed to still block out well and return some damage well. So that at least was something. And then that led to him bringing me down to 6 with the Chromai, Kaloria, Ashwing. He stole my equipment piece. Not my equipment, my item, my spirit. Which was totally fine. Like, it's way better he takes that than draws a card. And then he had the chance. This is where he told me that he lost the game, and this potentially was a reason to lose. Is that he pitched a Sigil to play Kaloria and arsenaled a Marigai. And his reasoning behind that was he hadn't seen many of my poppers, so he wanted to have his Marigai up next turn to pop to block out 9. And then pitch 1, play Marigai, attack with Kailoria. I think that was his plan. Little did he know I had a very good hand. So I had the Courageous Steel hand in Arsenal. I had the Via Vanguard turn. I had the pitch Lumina to and charge a Beacon of Victory to make the turn work, but I just didn't know what else to do. I think I had to do damage. So the math worked out that the damage worked way better because I lost Spirit of Rhinar to pitch Lumina rather than to play it. I could have gone 4. I could have gone 4-4-4, which would have been horrendous. Instead, I went 4. There's another card in hand, I think. No, 4. I went 4 with the Via Vanguard, 4 with a sword, which was then buffed with Courageous Steel hand. And they played a Sigil. Kevin played a Sigil at that point. And then he had 1 card in hand, 1 block on his armor, 1 card in Arsenal. And he was on 2 life. I had 1 resource floating and a Valiant Thrust in hand. That Valiant Thrust was coming in for 8. He could survive if that was a D-React. If that was a D-React, he would have blocked it out completely. And I would have been probably dead on the crackback. If it was a Sigil, he would have been on 1. And I would have been dead on the crackback. He played 1 Sigil. He played 2 Sigils at that point. 1 was under his deck, which I didn't even pay attention to. I'll be very honest. I just thought, again, now's the time. Let's force him to have it, because if I don't do it, I'm dead. If I do it, I can potentially win. There's no reason to not do it. So I did it, and he looked around and he tried to figure out how it was going to work. I could tell that he wished he in his mind he was thinking, I wish I'd arsenal the Sigil because then I'll be at 1, and then he could attack me for 3 Kaloria, 4 3 with Chromide and 4 with Kaloria. But it wasn't to be for him, it was to be for the Boltonator. And so yeah, that was it. I got the big win there. It was fun. It was obviously it was a roller coaster of of a weekend. I don't know if this has helped other Boltyn players play Boltyn. I don't think Boltyn is a very powerful deck. He can be if you're lucky. I was lucky, not only with my draws but also with my matchups. Yeah, I mean, I say that when I got honed by, absolutely honed by 2 Dromais on the way, and I defeated 3. But yeah, there was a large element of luck, and I think as a Boltyn player, you're going to need that if you want to achieve the results. That's all I got for you guys. No gameplay. I'm going to take a little rest from playing Flesh and Blood for at least a week, and then get stuck in with the next underpowered hero to win another tournament. So until next time, adios.